There we are. Hello, hello, friends. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put my stool aside. Oh, and I need to turn this off. Okay. Hey, you guys. Thank you, Mallory. Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited to be able to like finally reveal that that is the direction that I'm going in. And so, yes, thank you so much. For anybody who isn't on Instagram, I announced today that starting in March 1st, or starting on March 1st, I am making some changes. Nothing to YouTube or Instagram, like that's gonna stay the same as it's always been, but I am stepping away from the Scrappy Sisters Mighty Network and the podcast, and instead I'm taking myself in the direction of launching a Patreon. So technically as of Sunday, I launched my Patreon. I just have started letting people know. I did the Mighty Network. I did an announcement on Monday, and then today my announcement went out for Instagram. So I'm very excited about that. So Patreon is this new venture that I'm going to go on, and I have lots of plans for it, which I will let you guys know some of that today as we're working on the projects here. But yes, so super excited, and it does make me feel so good to know that so many of you guys, like I've gotten so many congratulatory messages, and it feels so good. So thank you for that. I'm in my husband's like huge, right? Yeah. Anyway, my husband's huge sweatshirt because our house has been like freezing cold this week. I don't know what's going on. It's just like temperatures are changing outside and our house can't seem to keep up with it. So it's really cold down here, but that is that. A line of products. Hey, maybe one day. I need to learn how to be a designer first. Yeah, if I can learn to be a designer, then someday I can launch products. Or someday I am actually working on building a website. So it's not my first rodeo. I've built a website before for a company that I did with my mom back in the day. But this one's going to be for me, and it'll be a place where I can host classes. And then if someday I did get, set up so that I can have a storefront on there, so that if someday I want to do some kind of merchandise, then I can, whether that's like, some kind of planning digital product thing, or who knows, because that's kind of like, what I'm known for is the planning stuff. So who knows what the future will bring, but it sure does look bright from where I'm standing. So that's that, working more directly with Allie. Maybe someday, who knows? Anyway, so today what we're going to be doing is working on my 2020 Day in the Life project. So over the course of the last month, we have completed my 2020 Week in the Life album, and that week was it was right in the middle of May. So Day in the Life, which is a much smaller album, I have the 3x8 album from last year, this like teal grid one, and it's much less intense of a project than Week in the Life. So Day in the Life, we documented 2 days in 2020. The first day I have completed, and I do have a process video. I don't know if it's a process video or if it's just a flip through, but it's one of those of my day one, which is like this. And basically I did the prompts. I should turn you guys around. Let me turn you guys around, and then we'll keep talking about this. So yeah, let me do that first. I just wanted to say hi from my face. All right. Oh, I'm on a cord. Let's adjust this. Sorry, you guys. Oh, sorry. Okay. We're gonna get there. All right. So here we go. Let's make sure we're nice and focused. Okay, looks good. Okay, so hi Millie and Tracy. Hey you guys. So glad you guys are here. So, day in the life. So I do have the first day done, and this was in March, so March 5th, 2020, which, by the way, if you are participating or are interested in participating in Day in the Life this year, the first documenting day is March 9th, or no, not mine, March 8th. It's a Monday, March 8th, which is similar timing to last year. So my day one was from this time last year. And this is, you know, like I said, much more low key. So I just have, for each of the prompts, I have a full page picture with some journaling. And then on the back side, I have my actual journaling for that prompt. So the prompts were eating, and then we had, I think so it's learning, and is he getting dressed, wearing. So I talked about her outfits that she was wearing. So, you know, just pretty simple, pretty basic, and keeping the same structure, I should say, maybe throughout the course of the entire day of documenting. So this one was all prompt based. Now the one that we're working on today is going to be gratitude based. I followed along with Allie last year. 2020 was the first time I ever did the Day in the Life project. So I just kind of took on what she did and virtually copied it. Like, this is exactly what she did in hers too. I didn't make up this idea, she did. And today I am also just going to totally scrap lift her. So if you have seen Allie's 2020 Day in the Life project album, mine's gonna look pretty much exactly the same because I feel like I don't need to reinvent the wheel. And at this point, I just want to get this project done before we get to the next day in the life. So that's what we're going to work on. So we're starting with this thankful, clear transparency, which I just realized I don't have the plastic taken off of. So we'll do that real quick. Take that off. So we're starting with the transparency here. And I'm going to add on, I already have like my printed out stuff. I think I'm just going to add on my card to the front and back of the transparency and just have it be like part of the transparency. And then we're going to use 2 pocket page protectors that are each with 2 3x4s in order to add in my gratitudes. So for the gratitude portion, we are doing, I printed my journaling on vellum. I left enough space at the bottom. I literally am scrap lifting Allie. Like, it's gonna be exactly the same as hers because I have no shame, I don't care. I like the way hers looks, so why not? So I have this pad of, they're like pad of half circle papers that say things like loving, or just says loving this life over and over again. And I'm gonna put these to the bottom of the vellum here, stamp a sentiment on it. I'm going to add a photo onto my Thankful For card like that, and then we will washi tape it to the top so that it flips up. And that's pretty much going to be it. That'll go in all 8 of the pockets, and then that will be my day. So I'm going to set my album to the side here so I can go ahead and get started with this. I'm actually going to take these pieces out too to make them easier to work with. So we'll do that. I did buy a whole second album. So I have this one, and then I have another one that's empty. Because I was like, oh no, this is getting so full. Like, what happens if I accidentally, you know, if I make it too bulky? I don't think I am anymore. So now I'm just gonna have a bonus album that I can use for something else at some point. Maybe that'll become the baby album for my next baby niece that is due in June, I think. I think she's due in June or July. I can't remember. So, you know, all of our siblings are all starting to have babies now, and it's so exciting. And now I just need to, you know, I want to document them all. Okay, so let's get started with this. This is going to be so simple, you guys. But simple is sometimes the best way, right? Especially if it helps you get your stuff done off your desk, off your chest, and into a book where you're documenting your memories. Work in a hospital. Shuin, wait, blah, blah, blah. Let me learn how to talk here again. Look up on Instagram. Look up Jess Forrester. She's on Allie's design team. So Jess Forrester and, oh, who's the other one? They both work in hospitals. And they do these types of projects. So I would recommend looking at their Instagrams from, you know, last year, this kind of time, and see how they took pictures in their work setting, because that might help come up with some different ideas on how you can. Is it Pam? Yeah, Pam. Okay. I'm like, I know it's not just Jess. So Jess and Pam both work in a hospital. So yes, they would be a great resource for figuring out photo angles and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to, I lined this up on my on my self-healing mat. I love this mat because it helps me line everything up where I want it to go. And I'm just gonna put it like here, I think. And that should be straight enough for me. Okay, so we're gonna put that one on the front. I need to date stamp it with the date. So this day was September 25th. I just realized I have all my lights on. That's gonna cause glare. Hold on, I'm gonna go turn these lights off. Okay. Okay, that should readjust it, and then we won't have all that glare anymore. All right, so let me angle this a little bit better too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and date stamp it with September 25th. Yeah. 2020. Cool. Oh, good. I'm glad it's better. Yeah, I looked at my little screen here and I was like, oh my gosh, it's glaring so much. And then, oh yeah, my lights are on. My normal lights. Okay. When I do my videos, I turn off all of my lights except for my umbrellas, and that's it. Because I find that any of my overhead lighting just causes a bunch of glare and washes everything out over here. So it works good enough. Good enough for me. Okay, so then on the back, we'll stick a photo. This was just a selfie photo. It wasn't one that I necessarily documented. It's just one that I took from that day. So I figured that was a good way to start my album out. I'm also using my score tape on these because I'm sticking it down onto plastic. So I don't want it to accidentally peel up if I were to use my roller adhesive. But everything else will just roller. So why not? That's hilarious. I love that, Etienne, that it's the cat's birthday on the 8th. So cool. Yes. Yes. I am going to be documenting on the 8th for mine, and I'll probably do it. I have the kit. I need to figure out like what prompt I'm going to use from the supplies I've got, because I don't even remember what the prompts are. So I need to go back through that and figure it out. And then I think I'm going to do it the same way I did last year, where I took, at least for this day, I took photos, and it's like not quite, oh shoot. Well, too late for that. It's like not quite trimmed enough, but you know what? C'est la vie. Let me see if I got anything here that I want to do. I want to remember what life looks like right now. Maybe. Or thanks for giving me the basic stuff of life. Maybe. We'll just try them all out. I'm not going to do yellow because I already have yellow in my photo. That'd be like too much. Come on, you. That blends in too much. All right. So, cat is 11 months. It's the first annual celebration. Oh, a salmon cake. That's amazing. I don't think we've ever celebrated our cat's birthdays before. We should. That would be fun. Well, technically, we don't really know. Like, do you know your cat's actual birthday? Or did you just make it up? Because for both of ours, we just make it up. We need to think of a birthday for Pumpkin because he doesn't even have one. Get her presents. Yes, you should. Get some like little, get those like little birdies or something. Yeah. Or catnip. Catnip's a great birthday present for a cat. Assuming they like it. Okay, so here is my title. So we've got today with a date. We've got a photo with a chipboard. And that is going to be that. So I'm going to set that up here. And then we're going to work on these next. So I'm going to grab out my stamping pad. This is the Sizzix Stamper's Secret Weapon Pad, which does not exist anymore. Just the saddest thing ever. But I've been on the search. I think I found one that's very similar, and I usually have it linked in my videos now. But like full disclosure, I've actually never used it. It just the description kind of matches this one. So this is basically just like a foam pad that you can use for stamping in order to help you get really nice, crisp, clear impressions. Okay, so I'm pulling off 8 of these because I believe I know I have 8. So I'm pulling off 8, and I'm going to grab my stamps. And I'm grabbing the Thankful For stamp. And we're going to stamp Thankful For in all of these in black. Adoption Day. Oh, that's a good idea. That's actually a really good idea. That would be a lot easier to remember, like when their birthday is. We have 2 cats right now. 2 is my max. I can't do more than 2. I almost couldn't do more than 1, but then we saw the picture of Pumpkin, and both of ours are like orange fluffy cats. So like, there's just I have a thing with orange cats. I love them. I can't say no. I can now because, you know, 2 is enough. But, oh, I just got ink on my finger. But we have the 2. And one of them we got like a week after we got married. So it's easy to remember how old he is. Pumpkin needs a birthday. So we can remember him too. Oh, good job, Tracy. Yeah, I'm so sad that they don't do these anymore because they're a great tool. But you can use a lot of different things. I've heard mouse pads are a great alternative to a stamping pad. What else? Even like a coaster. It's like I have this coaster sitting over here, I mean, to be a coaster, but it has some give to it. So like even something like that would work for stamping. It's just something that allows you to squish into it just a little bit so you can get really good impressions. Yes. I'm also using my scrapbook.com premium black dye ink. This is my favorite one. I've tried a bunch of them. I do like this one here, the VersaFine Claire Nocturne. I do like this one too. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't dry very quickly because I think it is it a pigment? I think it's a pigment ink, and this one's a dye ink, so it dries super quick because I'm not patient about waiting, and then I forget, and then I smudge things, and you know, it's a whole thing. So I like the scrapbook.com one because it dries almost instantaneously. It's really nice, and it goes really nice on photos too. So I like that. All right, so there is our stamped bits. Gotcha Day for pets. I like that name, Caitlin. Gotcha Days. I love how so many of you guys are cat people. I think that crafters are really awesome pet people. Like, I just find that a lot of people who scrapbook also are like very proud owners of pets, whether cats or dogs. I think that's fun. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the assembly process here. So first what I'm gonna do is put together all these pieces, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna get them into the pocket pages, because we'll need them to flip on both sides. So I need my ruler adhesive. Are there cats that don't? I feel like there are. I'm almost certain that I had a cat in college. Well, I mean, it's that was phrased really funny. I had a cat in college that I'm almost certain did not like catnip. Yeah. That was funny. Yeah, no, I definitely had a cat. Oh no, that's so sad. Yes, when I used to be allergic to cats. I don't know what happened, meaning like I don't know how I became not allergic to them anymore, but by some miracle I became not allergic to animals, which is awesome because I'm allergic to like everything else. So, I don't know, I guess I just got lucky, but I can definitely relate because my entire childhood, like I never had a cat growing up because I was allergic for a while, and then my uncle is still like super allergic to cats. So my mom didn't want one because then my uncle wouldn't be able to come over. You know, and that wouldn't be fun. So, okay, so we've got my journaling. So maybe what I can do is just kind of read you guys my journaling as we assemble these things together. Also, I need to figure out, maybe you guys can help me decide this. So these are going to look something like, okay, there we go. Something like this, right? With the thing on the bottom. What I need to do is washi this to the top. Now I picked out a whole bunch of them. So I've got, and maybe I can pull this over so we can see what it goes to, right? Because we've got like teal and yellows and reds and all those colors. So I pulled out a yellow that I could washi across the top. I've also got this teal that has stars in it. Or I've got a gray and white stripe, which is really more neutral, or this one that's got a bunch of colors in it. What do you think? What do you think, you guys? Help me pick a washi color. I'll pick whatever wins because I don't really care. So teal, yellow, gray, or multicolored stripe. You guys tell me. All right, so while you do that, I'm gonna adhere down some more of these things. I'm also gonna drop everything. Oh, I'm at it. Why not? Okay. So we got that. So I guess I'll go ahead and put this down here. I'm thinking, yeah, I just am gonna adhere this because even though you're gonna see it on the back of the vellum, I don't really care because you're not going to be looking at the back of the vellum anyways, so it's not going to matter. All right, and I don't know how Ellie did it, but this works for me. So that gives me my bottom section here. I might actually put it a little further down. Further down. Multicolor. Looks like most of you are saying multicolor. Multi. Yellow or teal. Caitlin, you would say yellow or teal, considering those are like your two favorite colors. Okay, yeah, I think it's better with it down a little bit. So I'm going to put it a little bit down. We'll cut off the bottom part. Are you straight? I guess you're straight enough. Technically not really even on here though. Wait, what? Tool Shed Day is adorable. What is Tool Shed Day? We celebrate Tool Shed Day for our 3 cats. Brothers discovered in a tool shed on my in-laws' property. That's so awesome. I love that. Okay, let me try this again. So I got it lined up here. This time I need you to be, you know what? I don't know why I try to do anything with my fingers because I just can't. So we're gonna readjust here. Okay, I think finally I might have that right. It looks right to me, so we're gonna do it. Going for it. All right, so I think yes, it is Galen. Okay, so we're gonna go with the multi because that will be fun. Let's do it. Why not? So, and plus, this one came from like the one little word multicolor from ages ago. It's cute. Okay, so I'm gonna rip off a strip here. The tool shed gang, I love it. That's so awesome. Where's Caleb? Oh, hey Caleb. Welcome, you guys. Okay, we are just assembling all the things. So, all right, if I can only, if I can only do this. You know what? Screw that. We're doing this a little bit different. Get out of here. I just want you. I just want you. So I'm going to put you like even, I suppose. And I think that's probably pretty even. Sometimes I measure things and I'm like super precise about it, and other times I don't. And I don't care. Just FYI. Okay, so then I will go ahead and close that in and do it this way. We'll clip that off, clip that off. Okay, so that gives me that. And I may possibly, no. Yes, I love my tweezers. I love them because it just makes placing things so much easier. Okay, so I might do that. I might come back and put some of these at the top. We'll decide that once we get the rest of the pieces done. So there's the first one. So this one was about being thankful for having the ability to teach my kids at home. So I said, thankful for the ability to teach the kids at home, for having the ability to schedule my work and crafty time around it, for the extra time I get with Izzy one-on-one when she would have been away most of the week otherwise. Thankful for the opportunity to try out this homeschooling gig and see where the year takes us. Which is funny because we're about, this is almost an entire year later. Not really, this was September. So we're like half a year later, and man, I am over it. I'm over it. I just want school to start again. Or not that I want it to start again. I just want to be vaccinated so I can send my kids back to school again. That's what I want. Because, yeah, I'm out of tape. So I gotta do this. Here we go. But, yeah, so it's funny to go back and read your writing like that because I don't know. I mean, I guess I would still be thankful for it. Let's be honest. I would still be thankful that I'm able to teach her from home and I don't have to send her to school. But I think I might need a whole like 6x8 page of journaling for the gratitude journaling I will create when she goes back to normal school. I will probably miss her, but all the same, it will be so nice. Okay, so let's do this again. So we're line you up here, stick you again. I'm trying to do this without my tools. Okay, so we'll do that. I saw Steph is here. Hey, Steph. Miss seeing you around too. I know you made some changes to your Instagram, I believe, like at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year. And we miss you. Reopening this week. Yeah, ours, I believe our schools are back. Like we could send the kids to school. We just chose not to. The school bus today, yes. It's true. Actually, I drove by a school bus today too. I never ever leave my house because I'm just a hermit. I just stay home all the time. Except, okay, that's a lie. We go to the zoo, right? I mean, you guys know that. We go to the zoo about every other week. And then we also go over to our parents' house. We alternate our parents' house every other week. I guess that's confusing. We go to my parents' house one day a month, and then we go to my husband's 1 day a month. So it's not that we never leave, it's just rare. But I had a dentist appointment today. Dun dun dun. Dentist appointment. So I had one of those today, which meant I had to leave the house. However, it felt so good to leave the house and get in my car and drive on a sunny day. Like, it's been, I can't even tell you how long it's been since I've done that. Even if it was going to the dentist, I'll take it, I suppose, just this once. Yeah, day 37. That's amazing. That's amazing. Good for you. I think it's, you know, that's a very positive thing to do, to take social media breaks and, you know, reprioritize different areas of life. Because social media can become an all-consuming thing, can't it? Okay, there's number 2. So this one, I have a picture of Izzy up at the front of our school, which is a part of our living room. And she was show and telling a ring. So I wrote, thankful for show and tell Fridays for the opportunities to hear stories about items the kids love. Today, Izzy shared her Pokemon ring that she got from my old school, the one where I got to go before the world was sick. The one with my teacher, Miss Lindsay. I miss her and my friends. What a lovely reminder the ring is to her of the people who have touched her heart. So that was my journaling. So what I did with this is I took a picture during the day. I posted it in my Instagram stories and I added a caption to it, like a box of text that said that. So then when I went to redo this, or to put this actually together, months and months and months later, all I had to do was go back to those posts in my archive and grab out the text that I had written. So it made this very easy. And I'm grateful for it because it's harder to journal things like this after the time has passed. It's not impossible. I did that with Week in the Life. I journaled afterwards, some of it during the week, and some of it like a year later or, you know, a half a year later. And it was definitely harder to do after the fact. So this is what I will be doing again. Although this year I don't think I'm going to take as much time in order to get this done. Like, I waited a very long time to get Day in the Life ready and done. This year, my plan is to do it like not the week of, but the week after. And then to just do it live. The nice thing about coming on here live with you guys is it helps to hold me accountable to getting my things done. So that is part of it, is I can stay accountable to doing what I want to do and getting done what I want to get done. So that is nice. Yes, Izzy's, yeah. I know, I felt so, it's so sad because every time she talks about like missing her teachers and missing her friends and all of that, then you're just kind of like, sad face. Like, I'm so sorry that you can't get to be around anyone. And she always calls it her real school, which, you know, I'm like, hello, but like, this is a real school too, kid, you know, just FYI. But I know what she means. I know what she means when she says that. And it does. It makes me like a little bit sad. Well, a lot of it sad because, you know, the kids are missing out on so much of that, I think. And it's not that like homeschool kids don't get a bunch of interaction, because normally homeschool kids would. Like, we could have, if this was a direction we were taking long term, then you can join things like co-ops where you can interact with other parents and other kids. You can go on field trips and stuff. So there are groups, there are sports and all that kind of stuff. It's very much community based, but not this year. You know, you can't do any of that this year. So even the homeschool is great, but it's still not like, it's not the best experience because we can't do anything outside of our house. Okay, so next we've got, right, Caitlin? I know. I was like, are you kidding me? This is real school. I am your teacher. I know I'm your mom, but I am also your teacher. Anyway, so the next one, I have a picture of Izzy at her desk. because this is throughout the course of a day, we're taking a lot of pictures back to back to back to back, which means like, you know, a lot of things happen to be in the same spot. So this one I said, thankful for Isabella's deep desire to learn. She soaks things up like a sponge and gets such joy out of achieving new levels in her studies. I'm so thankful I get to be there to experience the milestones with her, which would have been different had she been in public school this year. You know, I wouldn't have been able to be like, look at you, you can read a story where there are words with like 5 or 6 letters in them, and you know, you understand the concept of story and all this stuff. I don't know, it's really cool. So it's so interesting because I feel like this whole experience has been a roller coaster of emotions. Like, you know, like every aspect of what we're going through has been a roller coaster of emotions, and so has this whole staying home thing. Oh, I didn't put it on here even. No. So, you know, like there's the higher end of how cool is it that, you know, we get to be there and experience these things with them, like the learning to read and the getting better at math and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But also, like, you know, I kind of just wish I had some quiet for once in my house. You know, there's that aspect to it too, where you're like, sometimes I find myself like wishing they were away, and other times I find myself sad for when they will be. It's weird. I'm sure that a lot of people are going through that. And even in terms of like non-parents, but people working from home, it's so nice to be able to just work from home, that the thought of having to go back to an office, there's a little bit of dread in that, but then there's also a little bit of like normalcy in going to an office. So like, I feel like my husband, sometimes he craves just being at the office, and other times he's like, I never want to go back. I hope they don't make me go back. You know, it's just crazy. What a weird world. What a weird world. I've got something on this. Okay. So let's put on this next one here. Okay, so this next one is all about an arts and crafts project. So, in case you guys didn't know, I'm a fairly crafty person. That's a joke, because of course you know that. But I like crafts, and so do my kids, because I think because I'm always doing crafty things that my kids gravitate towards them. So my daughter's like always drawing and coloring and cutting things out, and now my son is all about it too. It's just part of what we do. Now the little boy that I teach, their family doesn't really do the crafty stuff as much. So what was this? I miss you. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that, Caleb. I'm gonna come back to that, because that is a thought. I have a thought on, I have feelings on that. Anyway, so he doesn't craft as much, so he gets all of his crafty experience over here. So maybe there is like a bright side to him spending all this time over here with us, because, you know, it is hard to be with the same like 3 people every single day of your life. And one of the benefits is that he comes over and we do arts and crafts projects at least once a week, but sometimes more than that. So this one, we made a wreath with foam leaves. So it was super easy. We took a paper plate, cut out the middle, and then they glued down leaves. And that was their project to celebrate the week of Thanksgiving. No, it wasn't the week of Thanksgiving. This was September. So that would have been just because it was the fall, celebrating fall. So I said, thankful for friends, and that Izzy gets to have her best friend join us for homeschooling. It's awesome for her to have a classmate and a playmate every day, although these best friends may eventually start to feel more like siblings by the end of the year, if not already. Yes, they are like siblings. They fight. They spend the whole day fighting, and I'm just like, oh my God, is the day done yet? Like, can we just all like go our ways, because you guys are killing me? Because yeah, they fight like their brother and sister. brother and sister now. It'll be so interesting to see how their relationship develops over the course of the years, because they've had this experience of basically being siblings for, you know, for almost a year now. And probably by the time everything is said and done, it will be over a year. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Okay. Caleb, I'm coming back to that comment. So your wife told you that she misses you even though you're home all the time. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. And probably everybody can relate to that. There is this sense, I think, because we are always together, at least I feel like this, right? Aaron and I are together all the time. You know, he works from home, I work from home, we don't go anywhere. We're just always together. And I feel like sometimes that's a really awesome thing. And sometimes also, because you're around each other so much, you almost tone each other out. Like, you know, almost like you're not really there. But instead of having 8 hours a day when they're truly not really there, and then they come back home, or you come back home, and it's like reunion, you know, oh, how was your day? It's, you know, you're so wonderful, I missed you, and let's eat dinner and hang out. Now we're in this sense of like, well, you're literally there all the time, so I don't feel like, you know, how was your day? Well, I already know how your day was because I was there for all of it. You know, like, I don't know, like there is a sense of loss, I think, in connections to the people that you're living with when you live with them 24/7. So I understand what she means, because I feel the same way sometimes, like that I miss Aaron and he's, you know, he's here the whole time. But I think sometimes that's when, especially when you start to feel that a lot, when for Aaron and I, we've decided like, okay, we need to like really take a step back and figure out how we can spend better quality time together, because that's what we're missing right now is quality time. The quantity is there, let me tell you. There's a lot of quantity around togetherness, but the quality is missing, I think. Or at least it could use improvement, that's for sure. And I'm sure that is something that couples and roommates and friends that, you know, live together and parents to children, I'm sure that's something that's kind of a universal feeling right now. And hopefully, you know, we'll get past this and we'll get back to the moments of being apart and missing each other and then being excited to be back together again. This next one that I have here is a just a picture of me and my coffee mug. And I wrote, thankful for quiet time and the chance to regroup. I love that the kids enjoy this time as much as I do. Today, quiet time for me looks like coffee in the silence and then some time at the craft table. Quiet time, which is for us from about 12:30 to 2:30, is the only 2 hours of the day when it's quiet in our house, aside from when the kids go to bed at like 8:30 or 9. There's just not a lot of it. So I cherish that time in my day. That is like my gold time. All right, let me see what else you guys are talking about here as I'm just babbling. Yes. Okay. So Steph, I just read your comment about, working from home, that you love being home, but that your husband is on like Zoom calls all the time. Okay. Yes, mine too. So my husband works in IT and, he's always on calls and I can't like, that's why, I mean, honestly, at this point, I think I prefer doing voiced over videos anyway, because I prefer that they're not like ridiculously long. I don't mind this because I'm just chatting with you guys. This is like hanging out. But a video, just talking to myself out loud, the time just seems to last forever. So I prefer the sped up ones. But back in the day, I was like, ooh, I'll do like a mix. And some of them I'll just chatty over them. And some of them I will voice over. And then because he's on his calls all day, or at night he plays games, like virtual games. So he's like got his headphones, and my husband's the loudest person in the world. So there's just no hope for chatty videos. So I've resigned myself. They're all going to be voiced over, except for Thursday night when he takes care of the kids, so I can come down here and it is quiet except for my babbling voice. But yeah, I can relate to that for sure. One of the things, speaking of working from home, is that, so my husband works for a company he works for a credit union. And it is an hour from our house. So for 4 years, I think 4 years, it might have been 5. 4 or 5 years, he drove an hour to work and an hour home. So 10 hours of driving a week to go to his job. So when this happened and they sent him home, it was like a total game changer for him. So his boss recently told him that if driving to work was, like, if he ever got to the point where he was looking for a different job because he didn't want to drive to work, that they would make it work for him to just work from home because they really like him. So he's like, okay, yep, I'm never going back to the office again. Or, you know, at least not for a 9 to 5, 5 days a week kind of job. He does go probably once a week to the office just because there are things that he has to do there to like take care of servers and stuff. So he does still go, but not, you know, not 5 days a week anymore. So there's that. Sorry, I'm catching up. Oh, where does, I see something, Mom. Your mom. Oh no, she got her knees replaced. Holy cow. That is a really big, that's a really big thing for her. I hope she heals quickly, Mallory. Yeah, I hope that she heals quickly. I can't even imagine. She probably has to be like laid up right now, right? While she heals and stuff. That's intense. So sending healing wishes her way for sure. What did I see? Oh, Lisa left. Sorry, Lisa, I think I missed you. Bye, if you're still here. Yeah, if you're still here, bye. Thank you for coming. We're getting there. 45 minutes, Caleb. Yeah, it's too much. That's just too much. And yes, I agree. IT jobs should be remote. That's the silliest job to have to go into the office after something like this, because like their job is literally to work on computers, which are remote things. So silly. Oh, I never read this one, right? Yeah. So this one right here that I just did was a picture of me working at my craft table. I just propped up my phone off to the side and then took a picture of me, like I posed for it. You know, these are always posed. It's fine. And I said, thankful for the time at my craft table, for getting projects completed, and the pride I feel when I see the final pages, for the creative process and the joy of telling stories, for the time in my day when I feel most me, which is true. Storytelling makes me feel most me, for sure. I believe that, Mallory, too, that less people going to work would make your commute better, like for sure. I remember there was a point during the, I can't remember if it was the spring or if it was the summer. So the pandemic like broke out in the US. And then in March, everybody was sent home to work from home and figure it out. And then it might have been right then because my husband had to like go to work to prepare computers for all of their people to take home and work from, because that was intense for them to get everybody hooked up for that. So I think it was then, and he said that the roads at that point were just like, there was nobody on the roads, and how crazy that was to drive with nobody on the road. I can't even imagine. work will be more productive and targeted. Yeah, I can agree with that too, Amanda. I think it will be too, because, you know, we've been able to get by, or so, I wouldn't say we, so many companies, right, have been able to get by and adapt and make changes that create more efficiency. So yes, I believe that too, that going back to the office, that efficiency will carry over and things will be a little bit different for sure. For this next one, I took a picture of Jonah watching Cars on our iPad, which he's obsessed with cars. He loves Cars, he loves The Grinch, and he loves Mickey Mouse. Those are like his main shows that he requests every day. So I said, thankful for the permission to be who we are, like me with my planning, or Izzy with her love of bugs, or Jonah with his Cars obsession. Because it was just a reminder that we are all, like, none of us like cars. Like, I'm not a car person, my husband's not a car person, but Jonah loves cars. So that's something that's all his own. And Isabella loves bugs. And although recently she had like a fly in her room and was freaking out about it. And I was like, wait, who are you? You like bugs. I don't understand what's happening right now. And apparently it was just because it was a fly, that she doesn't like flies, but spiders she does like, apparently. I don't know. Kids are nuts. Okay, so this is our last photo here. The nice thing about this is it comes together really quickly. Even the back end stuff, right? Because there are some things that I obviously do before I get to the craft table with you guys. Because once I get here, I just want this to go as quickly and efficiently as possible, smoothly as possible. So because I had my journaling pre-done on Instagram, and all I had to do was kind of, you know, go grab it and bring it over, then I created a template for my journaling. So I made a 3x4 canvas in Photoshop, and then I knew that I wanted to use these at the bottom. So I set this up so that the text would start about 1.25 inches from the bottom. So that gave me plenty of space to add this to the bottom. And then from the top, I knew I was going to tape it, so I gave myself 1 inch at the top. So I knew that my text had to go in this middle spot. Then I could just print those out, you know, copy everything over into that template and print it out. And then my photos were pretty easy because I also had those designated on Instagram. So I knew what photos I was going to use. I just needed to edit them and crop them and do that part. And then the rest of it I'm doing here, you know, is just printing stuff out. So this is a super quick project to put together, and silly that I didn't get it done before now. I also really liked this setup, which, I mean, if you're ever at a loss for how do I document day in the life, how do I document week in the life, how do I document December daily, I always recommend going to people whose style you like. So like I really like Allie's style, and scrap lifting them, because it does make things much easier. And at the end of the day, the things that matter most are getting your photos and getting your words into an album, right? So design wise, it doesn't really matter if you copy somebody else. And even if you do, your project will end up being completely different because it's your photos and your words. So, you know, just to say. All right, so we've got this. I just need to trim off the bottom of this one. And then we've got all of these done. This one I took a picture of Aaron and Jonah sitting outside on the deck. And I said, thankful for Aaron for so many reasons. For being my biggest supporter, for trying and failing and trying again to be the absolute best dad, for giving me moments of reprieve after his workday ends, for going to the store and picking up the food so I can just stay home, for listening to me talk about my scrapbooking ideas, for loving me and the kids so fiercely. And that is my 8 gratitudes from the day. So now that we have this part done, which turned out really cute, next we need to get these into the album. So let me get rid of all the scrappy pieces over here. Just need to go in the garbage. And we will pull over the page protectors for this part. Oh, 15 minutes isn't too terrible. That's not too bad. When I drive to work back in the day, because now I don't drive to work, and pretty soon that won't even be my work anymore. So when I drive to work though, it's usually about a 25-minute drive, and that's not too bad. I'll tell you what I miss about going to an office to work is not being at the office to work. And it's not time away from home, but I loved listening to books on my commute. And I miss that because I never really have an opportunity to listen to books anymore. So I read them. I just threw trash everywhere. I read them, but I don't, like the physical versions, but I don't listen to them as much anymore. And I do kind of miss that. It's just too hard. It's too loud in my house. Although maybe I should like just throw on some headphones and I can just ignore the screaming kids for a while I listen to my books. That's actually that sounds nice. So what I'm going to do, so I have two of these pockets, which are the divided 3x4 ones. And I am going to cut a slit right underneath where it's fused, so that we can have the flip up portions on both sides. So when you do something like this, you just got to be careful that you don't slice all the way through. Figure out which side we're on here. You don't slice all the way through the whole thing because you need it to hold up. So I considered just using the, hold on, let me do this before I forget what I'm doing here. Okay. I did consider just using the front sides and then just putting some kind of decorative thing in the back. But ultimately I didn't do that, so it's okay. I felt like I wanted to reduce as much bulk as I possibly could. And that is why I chose to do it that way. Okay, so we'll stick that down in. Actually, let's see, you're going to go U2 and then U2. So this one and this one goes together. So, oh, hey, Michelle. Welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. The vellum idea is awesome. And I wish I could say that it was totally my idea, but it was actually Allie's idea. And it's awesome. I love it because it does help reduce down a little bit. Like I don't have to have separate pockets for all of the elements. They can just go right on top of each other. So then it flips up and there's my stuff. So this one I'm going to put down here, and hopefully I sliced this enough that it will work. So there is side one, and let's see if I got it enough here. All right. It's hard because you don't want to cut too much because you'll lose the integrity of your pocket. I think I should be okay though. I think it's going to be okay. Just need to finagle you in there. Come on. Oh yeah, I got it. Stop catching on the photo. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna push that one in. And that gives us that section. So that's gonna work out really awesome. Okay, so there's the first set. Let's do one more here. And then that will be my day in the life. Done. And it didn't take me all day. It didn't take me the whole time. Actually only took an hour. That's amazing. I did prepare a couple extra projects because I had a feeling that this wouldn't take me very long. So I'll pull those out to do here once we're done. Okay. So let's go there, there. Oh, I'm going to do the pieces of life. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yeah, who else is going to do it, you guys? Who else? I ordered the folio and the patch, and is that it? I think that might have been it, because there was a stamp set too, but that was sold out, which actually I'm not mad about, because I probably didn't really need it, and I probably would have got it if it was in stock. So even though it's on pre-order, I'm not going to order that because I don't think I need it. I have so many stamps. I don't use them nearly enough, so I'm gonna pass on the stamp set this time. We'll see. I probably will have huge FOMO and end up getting it at some point, but for now, for now I'm passing. But I did get the folio, I did get the patch, and I think that was it. Oh, good night, Etienne. Thank you for coming. I always appreciate you being here. It's, you know, you guys are my favorite. You make my Thursdays my favorite. I tell you guys that every week, but you do. Okay, so there we go. That is Day in the Life, Day 2. So I'm going to stick this in here behind the first day one. And that is going to be that. So super simple. Just pictures throughout the day. This was a really awesome prompt. I liked this one. This just gratitude, a gratitude prompt, or thankful for. So, and I like also that it is pretty, there's not a ton of bulk to this. It's just 2 pockets with the flip ups, you know? So I think that that turned out really nice. So there we go. That completes my day in the life for 2020. Yay! Yeah, Millie, the prompts should be, I believe if you look at, if you watch Allie's product release video, she tells you all the prompts, but they're the exact same as last year. So it's like, at least because she's doing a pieces of me, and then she's doing a pieces of home. So the pieces of me is exactly the same as last year. The pieces of home, I don't know what that's going to be yet. You know, we'll figure that out, I guess, later in the year. But yes. Digital, yeah, you could totally do it digital. I wonder, I mean, because even if you had the, you could get the digital stamps and create your own book. And I wonder if they'll do some kind of digital, what am I saying? Like a digital traveler's notebook type deal. Because when they did the Art of Noticing, they had like a digital template that you could get so you could print off your own pages. So I wonder if they'll do something like that with the folio this year as well. All right, so I'm going to put this stuff away. This is what I have left from my my day in the life. I have some stickers here, which I'm just going to add into my sticker stash up here at the front. This is I'll show you guys a sneak of this. This is one of my things. So I used to have this organized with all of my Christmas stuff. Now I've got, this thing is full of my tiny phrase stickers. And then this one is full of my labels, so I can find my labels when I need them. And this one has some of my like asterisk chipboard pieces mostly, and then a few other things that are that I grab all the time. So I wanted the things that I'm always grabbing to be right in reaching distance. So that's when you see me like, woo, you know, putting my stuff up there. So I've got some more of these guys left, which I may add. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. I'm going to put those in with my labels up here. Although, loving this life. Yeah, that's not like super day specific. So we'll put you up here, because I probably won't use you this year on Day in the Life. But then I also have the chipboard pieces, which for now, do I have, let me see what I have for the coming year. Did this come with chipboard? So this is my Day in the Life 2021 product. I did get the tags last year, so I have some more of those remaining for this kit. I did get the puffy stickers. And did this come with chipboard? Because if it did, oh, it had those. Yes, it did. So here's what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to take this out, and we're going to put these in these guys because I like to have my stuff kind of split up by shapes and sizes and sentiments, that sort of thing. And this way it's all in one place. So this whole little container is my day in the life. Actually, I'm going to put you here. And then I will add the rest of the circles together. We'll put all the squares together. Actually, I'll move the circles down. And then what else do I have that can fit in here? Those are the patches. The patches are huge. Did you guys see these? They're so big. So some of these I'll probably use for Week in the Life this year because they are enormous. Really fun. I really like them. I also have these from Day in the Life left from last year. These little like clear words. So I'll stick those in there. So just a way to keep everything together so it's not floating around. And I'm wondering, these are probably too fat to fit in there, so put that back and we'll just add these. Get rid of that, and there we go. So then we have these like wonky circles that can go in there. This I would potentially cut up and put in here too, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And then that gets me set for Day in the Life. I don't need that. That gets me pretty well set up for this project. And then after the documenting day, I can pull this out, and that's what I will use for this project. So, put that away. And then let me put this away, and then I'll show you guys what I've got, what else I have prepared. Okay, so the other thing that I prepared for today, knowing that this would not take very long, is a couple of those projects that we planned last week for Colorcast Design. So, so let me just pull these over. So I have 3 projects that I pulled out, or that I did the photos and all of that for, and the journaling. It's all done. It's all ready. Let's see what you guys think. Yes. Thank you, Steph. Yeah, there's no better feeling than finishing your album. Like, or at least to me, I love finishing, getting them all done. Okay, so we have this one, which I titled Winter Shenanigans, because that's what the wood veneer piece said. I believe one of the things I did afterwards, after we planned it on last week's live, is I went through and I picked out pattern papers that I thought would be nice, or cards that I thought would go nice with the tones or the feeling for that particular season. I did already add my journaling on here by hand, and I pulled out a couple of chipboard pieces as well that I thought would go nicely with that one. So I've got that project to work on. I have this one, whoops, which is a selfie I took of myself. And, well, I guess, is there such thing as a selfie you don't take of yourself? Like, that was a silly statement. I have a selfie photo. And then I grabbed, or I did my journaling on a 4x6, which I think I was gonna, oh no, I'm just gonna add some pattern to it. So I pulled out a pattern that I thought was really pretty that goes kind of with the quote, and then I have this acrylic piece to add on there. So that is my second project I've prepared, and the other one I forgot that I didn't print out my journaling portion. I was just about to, but then my time, I ran out of time before starting. So we'll work on these two for today. So thank you for your congratulations. So while I work on this stuff, let me tell you guys, actually first let me go grab my 3-inch circle punch, because I don't have that over here. So I'm gonna go grab that, and then I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna tell you guys about Patreon a little bit and what my plans are for that platform. Give me just 1 second. Okay, all right, so circle punch. All right, so let me grab these pieces. So this is going to be punched. These are going to be punched. This I'm going to cut down to a 3x4. Caleb, how far are you on your December daily? What day are you on currently? I'm proud of you for still working on it though, because I think sometimes it's easy to give up when it takes a long time, or when it takes longer than, you know, how your projects normally would take. Let's see if that's... I'm going to see if I can get my printer to print out that other that other journaling bit. Okay, so I'm going to take each of these cards, I'm going to punch them into 3-inch circles. This one I think was from a Studio Calico card set. And these two came from a paper person kit. They are not paper person. Actually, this one is not. This one is also not. But I don't know what the actual collections they came from are, because I cut off their things. So I don't know where they really came from, except for they were part of one of the paper person collections. So that is what I'm using for those. Oh wait, did I miss it? Day 22. Oh, you're almost there, Caleb. Wait, do you go to the 31st or do you stop at the 25th? Because you're almost there. You're so close. So close. Okay, so my idea was to put those up there as a thing. So it's just a question of how far down. Actually, that will work. That will work. Okay. Okay, so Patreon, what questions do you guys have about it? Have you guys ever heard of Patreon before? Have you been a patron of anyone before? Did you get a chance to see anything that I posted about today? I'm gonna make sure these are kind of sort of even. Tell me any of your questions that you might have, and I will do my best to answer them. Or I'm also totally game talking about December Daily too. Seriously, you guys have so much resilience with that. I don't know if I could. I mean, I would keep working on it too, because it's, you know, obviously I just did my day in life almost an entire year later, or, you know, 6 months later. But, you know, that is what it is. Oh, Paul, I'm so excited. Yay, thank you for joining. So some of the stuff for things to know. So Patreon right now, I am starting with 2 tiers. The first tier is the cheapest I could possibly make it. If there was like a free option, I would have done a free option, but there's not. So instead, the cheapest you can get is $1 a month. So my first tier is $1 a month, and on that tier, I am going to be putting together my older, my older Project Life albums. Oh, it might be too late. Well, boo. I don't like that my photo's sticking through right there. I wonder if I can move this over more. We're gonna try. Anyway, so I'm gonna be working through my older Project Life albums throughout the course of the year. I have 2017 at this point is halfway done. And 2018, I have like 4 weeks, I think, maybe less than that. Maybe more than that. I don't really remember, but I don't have very much of my 2018. I started Project Life in 2018. That's when I actually got back into scrapbooking. And instead of working on it during the year, I was like, ooh, I'm going to go back and document all the older memories first. So, which I did. Like, I went back and I documented 2015. I got my 2015 album done. which was awesome. That was the year my daughter was born. And then over the course of the year last year, I got 2016 done. And then I just never actually did 2018. So over the next year, because I've got enough for like a daily video, not daily, a weekly video for the next year, I am going to be putting together my Project Life spreads. My plan is to post a new video every week for Project Life, for the older Project Life stuff. I did, in the description for that tier, I did express that that the benefit is 1 a month instead of 4 a month, because there might be months where I can't do all 4 weeks. We'll see. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll stretch myself and I can, you know. But my goal is to do 4 so that I can get those albums done. Because ultimately, I want to get those albums done. So that's tier 1, are the Project Life process videos that will be exclusive to Patreon. I will post like sneak images on my Instagram, and then the process and all the images will be available on Patreon. Then there's also a Facebook group for the group. So prior to this year, there used to be this thing called a community tab on the Patreon groups where you could where members could post pictures and not comments, but you know, like make posts, kind of like a Facebook group. Well, apparently, I don't know if it just didn't go over well or what, but Patreon did away with that. So when I launched my Patreon, my original intention was to have the community tab be where we communicate and not Facebook. But then when I launched it, I was like, wait, where's my community tab? And I had to do a bunch of research and found out it doesn't exist anymore. So back to the books I went, and to the drawing board, and a Facebook group we have. So there is going to be an associated Facebook group. It's already created, and that is a space for members of the Patreon or patrons to post their artwork or their spreads. Because part of being in a community with people is like, yes, I want you to see the stuff that I'm making, but also I very much want to see the things that you are creating. One, it, you know, is really encouraging to see other people's work. 2, reading your stories helps me get to know all of you better, which is, you know, one of my most favorite things. And 3, it's, I don't know what the third thing is, but I'm sure there's a third thing. Anyway, I just think it's a positive thing to have the ability to see your guys' stuff as well, especially if you don't necessarily share on Instagram, but you would feel more comfortable sharing it in a smaller group setting. You know, it is what it is. So Facebook was the only option for that, unfortunately. Fortunately, unfortunately, like at least there's an option, but it is what it is. On that group, I also created a document where we can keep a running tab of our members and all of their social links, because part of building the Patreon I want to build is I don't want it to just be like you can't post or you can't share anything about you. Like, I want you to be able to share about you. So that is part of it, is there's a place for these social things so that we can find each other if you want people to. So there's that. That's all tier 1. Then tier 2 is the only other tier I have right now, and that one includes 6 additional videos per month. So there will be one planning process video for Colorcast Designs for the newest kit. So in March, you will see me crushing, or not, I guess it is technically crushing, but you'll see me planning stories for the February themed Colorcast Designs kit. And then it will roll from there. And then you'll also see one process video of one of those spreads. So that will be the first week. And then the second week will be the same thing. So a planning process video and a process video, a planning video and a process video for the new kit of Allie Edwards story kits, the new story kit. So next month in March, I'm going to be working with the kit Connect. So that's the newest one at this point. And then the last duo of videos is for Paper Person. So I'll take the Paper Person kit, the newest one, and I will, so the next one will be the food-based kit. I forget what that one's called. Anyway, I will be doing storytelling or process, what am I saying? I'll plan out my stories for Paper Person, and then I will do one process video, and that is all included in tier 2, in addition to a quarterly Zoom hangout. So the reason I chose to do it that way is because I am still homeschooling and I'm in the process of training my mom to take over my job, which is, you know, it's a pretty big job, so it's taking some time to like get all our ducks in a row. So for that reason, I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew, so I'm just starting with the 2 tiers. My goal, though, is to work up and build up additional tiers over time where I can do more process videos. I want to get all the way up to having 4 processes for each planned kit, and then more crafty Zoom hangouts as well. So going from once a quarter to eventually having 1 a month. So it just, you know, I have to build it as life allows at this point. So we're starting with what I can, you know, totally 100% commit to for right now. And then we'll make it bigger and better over time. So that is essentially what it is. I'm also doing a weekly discussion topic, which I think will be really fun. And, well, you're fine. You're fine. What about the podcast? Oh, I'll talk about podcast here in a second too. So let me see where I want to position this stuff real quick. And I wanted to do some kind of, let me see if I have some kind of chipboard I can add in there. What was I going to say? Oh, weekly discussion topic. So there's also going to be a weekly discussion topic where, you know, we can get talking about all the crafty things and just have some fun talking about all the stuff. So let me grab a handful of these things. My phrase chipboard is what I want. And we'll see if any of these are good for the spread. So that's that. That's basically what Patreon is, and hopefully it will, you know, I really hope that it will just be a space where you guys can feel comfortable sharing things and we can build a community, and also it gives me a reason to make even more content, which, you know, I can't say no to more content. I love it. I love making all the things, so super fun. Okay, how big do I want this? Just 1 inch? Let's see what happens with 1 inch. Yeah, that'll be good enough. So for those of you who are part of the Mighty Network, or for those of you who are subscribers to the podcast, both of those right now they're not going anywhere. I am going somewhere, but but they are not going anywhere. So I am stepping away from both of those in order to do my own thing. But Tashi is still sticking around. I don't know 100% what her plans are for all of it. But they are her platforms. So like, she started Mighty Network and then asked me to come in and be a part of it. And then she started the podcast and then asked me to come in and be part of it. And we've just found that at this point, like, you know, at this point we think that while we are good together, that we also have a lot of potential to be really good apart. And for, you know, our own journeys, we think at this point that it's better for us to pursue our things separately. I know she's got a lot of different interests that she's pursuing, and it frees her up to where she doesn't have to feel like pressure to perform for my sake, and then vice versa. You know, I can build something exactly how I want it to be for my personality type and that stuff. So, you know, so that's what is happening. So yes, the podcast is sticking around. I'm not exactly sure in what way, shape, or form, but it is, and the Mighty Network as well. Those are just two things that I won't be associated to. Like, I won't be a part of them anymore. But that's not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because I sure did. That was something I never thought I would ever do in my life, is to be a podcaster. So it was really cool to get the opportunity to do it. And I am and will forever be grateful for the opportunity. And I did really like it. I would like to focus on some other things, and who knows, maybe someday down the line in the future, someday, if that is something that makes sense for me, then, then maybe I can return to it. Okay, so we're just going to put this in the middle here, I think. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, all you guys, yes. Yeah, I get that too, Millie, that it's like, it is kind of like, it's very negative to think that, like, you're holding somebody back. But, sometimes being together and then going apart helps you to, like, soar even further. Because sometimes, like, for me, there are so many things that I don't think I would have considered, like even the whole idea of building a Patreon. Like, I don't think I would have really considered that until I knew that I could somewhat run the Mighty Network. That having the opportunity with Mighty Network made me believe that I would be able to do something else if I wanted to on my own. So it's, it's positive. It's good. It's good to have moments of being together and then moments of finding your wings on your own. I'm just looking for a word that makes sense. That is all I'm doing. So this one is the letter to myself. So I wrote a letter to myself, and then I'm pairing it with this gorgeous, it says gorgeous, and it is gorgeous, acrylic piece from Colorcast Design. So that's where both of these spreads are from today. I'm not happy with any of those sentiments yet, so I'm going to see if I've got any more that I like better. Stuff is not really, no. Currently, maybe. Wish I had silly lunch worst escape, no. Because I kind of want it to be white with black text. Okay, so maybe I've got currently everyday life, maybe. Overheard. Okay, let's see what we have that's black with white, because maybe that's what I need to do. Gorgeous. Right now, oh, I just like the white better. It pops off better. I might not be able to, you're right. Oh wait, you know what? This is a 6x8. So this one I'm going to add into a page protector. And I decided on that because when I cropped it to the larger size, it cut off too much of down here. So it would have cut off like half of my hand in order to get it bigger. I didn't like the scale, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to print it 6x8 and I'll stick it in a pocket. That'll be fine. I don't mind, Okay, so I'm thinking that I'm just going to do currently, because that's fine. Currently, or what do I have over here? I know I've got some, let me pull my stash out here. I've got some one little word ones, which usually has some pretty good sentiments for this type of project. But where are you? Maybe I don't. I thought I did. I thought they had white. Apparently not. Okay. No. What is this? Tomorrow is a new day. Remember this. I mean, those could work. Thank you, Millie. Thank you. You know, I feel like you never know how things are going to go until you try it, right? I am very much about, like, try everything once. Especially if you have somebody who is willing to take a chance on you. Like, try everything once. Okay, let's go remember this. So gorgeous, remember this. Yeah, girl. And we will be good with that. So we got remember this, gorgeous, and then do I want to balance this with a puffy sticker? I might. Tweezers, so we don't have to commit yet. Actually, I kind of like it, so we're going to commit. All right, there we go. So there's that one done. The nice thing about getting these things planned like this is it doesn't take very long to get them completed. You know, so like there's 2 done, and then I'm going to do one more. Pints and scraps, that would be awesome. What if I did one with like my husband? How funny would that be? To do a podcast of something with, well, we thought, because we were like, how funny would it be to do a podcast someday or a YouTube someday, I don't know, and call it the Crafty Couple, because I do crafts and he makes craft beer. Like, I craft scrapbooking projects and he crafts beers, so we're both crafty. I don't know. I thought that that was clever. I'm gonna grab my journaling off the printer. Okay, so here is my last project here. Okay, so I don't need these anymore, so I'm gonna put all these back where they go. And then we'll move on to this one. So this one I did a cheat on, which, yes, I love that shoe in. I love crafts t-shirts. I got my husband one for Christmas this year. Heck, what am I doing here? 6.875, right? Yes. Okay. I almost cut that wrong. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to trim this first. I'm going to trim this and then I'll talk, because otherwise I'm going to mess this up. I don't want to do that. To make it happen. It would be so funny. He's so goofy. Well, so the thing is he and his brother, so my husband's an identical twin. He and his brother do their beer stuff together. And they always talked about doing a YouTube channel. And I was like, do it, do it. I'm like, listen, if I can do it, you guys can do it. You're so charismatic. Do it. And they were going to do like a beer reviewing type of channel. And then they could talk about like making their own beer and doing like tasting things. And I don't know. We had all kinds of ideas way back when, before COVID. This was before COVID. And they were going to call it Double Tapped, which I thought was the coolest name, because you tap a beer in order to get it out of a keg, and they are twins. So Double Tapped. So Caitlin, if you're on here, which means Alex is probably listening to me talk over your TV, then that still needs to be a thing. I'm just saying. I would watch that channel. Okay, so what I did for this one, since I'm like just chatting with you guys and not at all telling you what I'm doing, what I did for this one is I printed, well, first of all, I created my own template in Photoshop, so that when I got to the table, it would be easier to just put everything down where it goes. So we've got, where's the little piece? The wood piece. Okay, so what I've got are 4 photos that just talk about, or not talk about, because photos don't talk. I have 4 photos that are depictions of our day in the snow. If you guys were here last week and I was like, oh, all of these things like make me think about going outside and playing in the snow. And I was like, well, I guess now I have a reason to go play in the snow. So when I come back and I have pictures of us being in the snow, you'll know why. Here we are. We played in the snow. Look at that. Scrapbooking, making me intentional with my life. Besides that though, I have 4 pictures from being outside that are going to go into these 4 boxes. So I printed the photos, and then I also have, you know, I grayed out the boxes to make it easier for placing them down so I don't have to measure anything. I will eventually do some kind of process video for a spread where I show you guys how I do that, because it is my favorite hack ever. It makes putting things together so much quicker. All right, I think, so next time, eventually, I will have that as part of the video. I promise. I couldn't do it for this because, you know, we're live. But it makes things way easier. So, let me just get these things trimmed here. I printed these right before we started today. Otherwise, I would have just cut them out already, just to reduce some time. But you know what? It's only, we still have like 20 more minutes, and this is going to take me not 20 minutes. So, that is that. Okay. So these will fit directly in those boxes. See, it makes it really easy for just plopping things down, which I really like. So a lot of times what I do when I'm working with my projects is I will plan things out on the computer first. And that might be, at some point, that might be the video I need to make, is like, how do I pre-plan my actual spreads on the computer? Because that's what I do for things like Project Life. By the time I come over to my desk, I already know where all the photos are going to go and where all the cards are going to go, because I usually figure it out digitally before I bring it over here. And it makes my process go that much quicker. There we go. So, and same with a lot of projects like this one. So this one, we've got these photos, which I'm just going to go ahead and put them down. Just get them adhered and call it good. So I knew that I wanted this to have a very like editorial type feel to it. Almost like you could see this type of layout in a magazine or something. So I created 4 little photos, and these are roughly 1.25 inches by 2.5 inches. So 2.5 by 1.25. And then I wanted to put the journaling underneath those boxes. There we go. So I've got like, this one is listening as the kids squealed with delight over swinging amidst the feet of snow made my heart so light and happy today. Because the title is Happy Heart, right? So I tried to include that in my journaling. This one, watching Isabella brave the snow-covered slide, laughing all the way down, made my heart light and happy today. This one, I said, enjoying my sister's company and roping her into playing with us outside in the snow made my heart light and happy today. And then the last one is hanging out with Jonah. There we go. Hanging out with Jonah in the kids' fort and showing him how to throw snowballs made my heart light and happy today. So then I've got this winter vibes thing, and that's going to go right over this one, which I just went ahead and left the box there because I know that that you're not going to be able to see through the wood, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to stick that down, which leaves me with my title and the hearts. So the title can go right above. And these spreads go inside of a story album, so they will have something backing them, which will help their stability. get my tweezers here and make sure we're good. In the middle, I think that looks good. Well, I should probably straighten my paper so I know we're straight. Okay, that's probably good right there. So we got happy heart, winter vibes, and then I'm gonna add these above. 2 of them are bigger. So these go above the photos. Almost like bullet points, but not really. It's just kind of a way to like bring your vision down. I also really like in this type of design how it's almost like a pyramid. So you've got these, or like a tier where it's tiered and structured. It's a very structured page, which is definitely my cup of tea, for sure. All right, so we're gonna get all these on here, and then that is going to be all the projects I had ready for today, which is awesome. Oops. All right. I know that these are like super bulky pieces, but I really like them, so I don't mind. And that's why I have the story albums, because like I don't want to feel limited to not using my supplies, to keeping things, you know, really flat. I don't mind them being bulky. And with my story albums, I just label them as volumes, so I just keep making and keep putting them in. Like I don't mind having multiple. Okay. Keep going, Millie says. All right, so that is this spread. So let me bring these back over. I'll show them to you. Because I'm not sure if I know the last one I kind of told you about. The first one I don't think I did at all. All right, so let me move my stuff here. Take a swig of my drink. Okay. And I can show you also what I've planned for next week and the weeks following that. Okay, so we've got the Happy Heart spread, which turned out really cute. I actually really like this one a lot. So there's that one, which it does. It has that like editorial magazine type look to it. I think that's cool. Then we've got this one from Colorcast, right? So we've got the letter to myself here, which is cool. So, right, there's that one, which I like that one a lot too. This was a quote card from Allie Edwards that I just had in my stash. It says, fall in love with taking care of yourself, mind, and body and spirit. And that went so nicely with the tones that I wanted to use, like having the rose gold here kind of, and the scripty font went pretty nicely with that. So it was a good way to use up a card from my stash. And then the last one I have here is the Winter Shenanigans, which I just paired with these 2 cards. And this was just about having so many days of temperatures that were so cold that we couldn't go outside. And finally, we had a day where it was above 30. I actually think it was mid 30s, maybe even low 40s on this day. It was probably 30s. It was 40s yesterday here, which was wild. But how nice it was to have warmer temperatures where we could actually take the kids outside and play in the snow before all the snow melted, which it's going to take a while to melt, but you know, all the same, it wasn't slushy. So I really like this one, and I've got that Winter Shenanigans up here as my title piece. I think that's fun. I think the circles is fun too. It makes me think almost of like balloons, but that's okay. It still works. So those are my 3 Colorcast Designs projects that I had ready to go today, and then the Day in the Life album. So very, very productive couple of hours here. Millie, what's your idea? Oh, it's for me to keep going. Yes, it was so nice. It was so nice. And I am ashamed to say that it was so nice and I did not go outside yesterday when it was warm. That was, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so for next week, do I have them over here? Of course I don't. Just grab them off my desk. For the next couple of weeks, we are going to be working our way through, actually it might not even be the next couple weeks, it might be the next couple of months here. We're going to work our way through my stash of untold stories. So I have this bucket here that is filled with planned stories that I have not told because I just haven't had time. So I went through them the other day and I separated them into 4, 5, or 6 like bunches of stories that I could prepare, and then we could work on them during my lives. So I have, like, for instance, next week for 3-4 YouTube live for 3-4, I have, how many in here? I think I have a bunch. No, that's not all of them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 stories to tell next week. So we'll get this little packet of stories done. It may possibly mean some shorter lives just because, like, I just did 3 of these and that didn't take very long. So we'll see what happens because it does take me some time to get them prepared. So I don't know. But anyway, so I have my packets of stories done. I actually got all of these prepared. This is all of my March live stories here. I got all of these prepared over the course of this week, which is nice because it frees me up to work on some other things. And then when Thursday comes around, I just pop these babies open and we tell some stories together. So that is my plan. I've got a bunch more in the bucket ready to go. So I think like all the way up through May. Yeah, and then I've got another stack here and another stack here. So we'll figure it out. And then once I get through this bucket, the next plan from there would be to use my lives to crush older kits. So that leads me to one more pseudo announcement. You guys will get this early. I'm going to actually post on Instagram about it tomorrow because tomorrow is Story Kit Crush Friday. So Story Kit Crush, I am going to make a change to it. It's not like a drastic change. Like, it's still going to be crushing a kit from Allie. It's still going to be on Fridays. It's still going to be a community thing. However, what I have noticed, you know what, I'm going to turn you guys around because you don't need to look at my hands. Let me turn you guys around here for the last 15 minutes. If we even go for 15 minutes. What do I want here? This way. Okay. Hello, hello. Oops, sorry. It's a little jarring. Okay, there we go. Can you see me? Yeah. Okay, so for the starting in April, things are going to get a little bit different. So in the month of March on Instagram, I am going to be crushing the Progress Story Kit. So Progress is going to be in March as planned. Starting in April, I am going to change things up. So I have noticed that I get the new Allie Edwards kits in the mail, the fresh, new, exciting ones. And because I am crushing an older kit, the new kit goes into a bucket and then I don't touch it for an entire year until I crush it the next year. So I decided I don't really like that. I don't like the feeling of putting my new exciting stuff in a bucket and not using it. So I am going to start crushing new kits instead of old kits. They just will be a little bit delayed. So for instance, the Connect kit is on its way to my home right now, but it's taking forever to get here. I don't know why it's not here yet. It should be here, but it's not here. So it's very frustrating. It should be here. So I will hopefully get my hands on that kit this weekend. That is my hope. If not, it will definitely be here next week. Then I am going to film my planning process and my actual process videos, and I will post those on my Patreon. So in the month of March on Patreon, I am crushing Connect. In the month of March on Instagram, I am crushing Progress. Do you guys follow so far? So then, starting in April, the videos from Connect will become live to everyone else. So in April on Instagram and on YouTube for my normal channels, I'll be crushing Connect. So it's a way for me to get that early stuff done to give my patrons a benefit of being able to see all that content early, and then to be able to repurpose that and use it for the community project in April, and then so on and so forth. So what's exciting about that is if you are in my Patreon, I mean, even if you're not in my Patreon, you know what will be coming. If you are in my Patreon, then you'll have the ability to see different stories that I'm telling, and then to tell your own stories and have those ready to go for the community project the following month. So then everybody can participate together and can be this really big, awesome thing. But ultimately, at the core of it, the whole reason I'm doing this is because I really want to use my new kits. And therefore, once I get the story bucket done, then I will resume crushing the older kits, but I will do it live here on Thursdays because I have a whole bucket of old kits too that I want to use up. So that way it gives me content for YouTube here for the lives, but then I'm also doing the new kits at the same time. So it just, that is what I am going to do. I'm going to make a big grand announcement about it tomorrow, kicking something here, on Instagram so that the whole world knows. So March will be, if you are on Instagram only, not Patreon, so normal schedule. March is going to be Progress, April is going to be Connect, and then May will be whatever the next, I think it's Bloom is the next kit from Allie, and then so on and so on and so on. So we'll just follow her release schedule and do the newer ones. So I am excited for that. What is that? She runs out beer and coffee this lady. Yes, maybe a little bit, but anyway, so that is that. I'm seeing what you guys are saying here. What are you guys talking about? You guys are on some other, you guys are on a completely different topic. I don't know what this, I'll have to go back. Fun fact, after my lives are done and I hit the I'm done button and go ahead and post this button, I literally take my iPad, which is what I have down here so I can see your comments, and I go and I sit on my couch and I scroll back as far as I can and read all your comments because I know that I missed so much of it, but gosh, I love reading them. So that is totally what I'm going to do here because I know I've missed a bunch of stuff that you guys are talking about. So yes. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I don't know. People ask me all the time how I can do so much. For me, it's one, having a plan, right? So having a plan before you even plan. So for me, I am very structured about okay, what types of posts do I do every day? Which also helps me to work on all the different projects that I have going, so every Monday on YouTube, I do some kind of story project. Every Wednesday on YouTube, I do Project Life. Every Friday is Story Kit Crush, and that is my 3 videos for YouTube. And then for the lives, I usually work on a big project, or I use that as a way to tell a bunch of the things that I planned but then never told. So it works in the end. But yeah, it is a lot. I do spend a lot of time here because I love it. And that's why ultimately my goal is to make this into maybe not a huge career. I mean, if I could make it a huge career, I mean, that'd be clutch. But if I can't make it into a huge career, to at least help supplement our family with it, that's kind of my goal here. Anyway, you guys, I think I'm going to head out. We have 5 more minutes, but I mean, you guys I've been talking a lot, and I'm ready to go read your comments and sit down. So thank you for coming and hanging out today. I hope that you enjoyed seeing the day in the life little pieces come together, and maybe that got you excited for the project that's coming here in a couple weeks. I hope that I was able to get you excited and answer some questions about the Patreon thing. And I hope that you also enjoyed these little bonus pages that we got done today. I'm excited to have gotten these done. So thank you for giving me a reason to sit down and finish these. So there's that. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow I will have the last of my whatever kit we're doing right now, cozy, of my cozy kit projects live here on Instagram. And I will be reading through all your projects throughout the week. So definitely be sure to share them if you have them. And I cannot wait. So you guys have a great night. I will see you in the next video. It's going to be really awkward while I X out of here, but that's okay. You guys have a good night.